Welcome everyone to Three Borders Sports Network and the Coaches Show. This is our second episode, and we're going to start off with Coach Larry Lash, coach of the Wahpeton Breckenridge cross country team. Coach Lash, welcome to the Coaches Show.
Thanks, Coach Watson. It's good to have you on again.
So a good week last week. You had the Elbow Lake meet, which is hosted by West Central area. How did that go for you?
It was a challenge. My senior runner, Gus Lash, commented. He said, "Man," he goes, "we got to run against the very, very best team in the state," which he said is kind of cool. Which I think it's a good attitude. You could be scared, but he said we get to run against the best.
Right. You want to be up against the best, and you want to be able to compete against the best. And you had talked about how good they were, and they ended up almost with the perfect score, or with the perfect score.
It was, yeah. They went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and even their sixth runner was the sixth runner in the race. Our top runner was Aiden Ruddy again.
Okay.
Who actually he ran pretty close to the same time he ran the previous week, and he felt good about his race. What was nice on the boys' side, though, is last time Luke Baumgartner was my surprise. This time Logan Maminga stepped up.
There you go.
And he was my number 2 runner.
Okay.
And he ran like a low mid 19s, like 1930 something.
Okay.
And right behind him was Junior Perez, who also ran his best time. This time Gus was our 4th runner, but he was also under 20.
Okay.
So those 3 boys were really tight together, and even Luke is disappointed, but he ran like a 20 minute and 10 seconds. So he was not too far off of his last time either.
Right.
So my top 5 runners all ran better, and you kind of get pulled along in that jet stream of those fast guys.
Yep.
But after West Central, they kind of ran against themselves. There was another team, United North Central, and when you tallied up the points for second place, we were really close with them.
Okay.
So it was nice that our boys did have another team to run against. And I thought they filled that role pretty well.
Well, that's good. So West Central are kind of out there by themselves, but then you're still able to compete there for second and third. So that's good.
And another pleasant surprise, Devin Demert, it was his first race. He's in the wrestling program. He ran a junior varsity race. I wasn't sure where to put him.
Okay.
But he ran a really good time. And I think I could put him in the varsity now, and he won't be too far behind on Junior and Gus, Logan, and Luke. So
that's nice. You've got a couple kids, like you said in the first meet, that you had a surprise in Luke Baumgartner, and then now you have another surprise in this meet.
Right.
Well, that's got to be good as a coach that you have different people that are stepping up in each race.
Yep, absolutely. And I think it's nice that those other 4 runners after Aiden, that any one of them know that they could be our number 2 guy.
Okay.
And it's kind of nice to, hey, I could be the top guy in the team.
Right,
so
right.
None of them feel like, yeah, I should be the 5 runner. I think all of them feel like they should be the second runner.
It's good that they're competitive and they're competing against each other and they're pushing each other too.
Right. Yeah. I used to have some people become complacent, just knowing that I'm always going to be the 3 runner no matter what.
Right.
But not this year.
Right. That's nice. And what about on the girls' side? How'd the girls do?
Trying to think here. Gabby Baumgartner was my number 3 runner. Maddie was number 2, and then Rachel Gowland's always going to be my top runner. So I had to try to get the right order of put together too. Rachel actually didn't think she was running that well until she came through like the 2-mile split, and a coach gave out times.
Yeah.
And she said, "Wow, I'm going way faster than I thought." Because there was some pretty stout competition there too. She ended up placing 5th, which was pretty impressive at that race. Both West Central, they went to state last year, so I knew they would be good.
Yes.
And then the United North Central team just missed going to place to state last year.
Yep.
They were just a place away from it.
Right.
So, and both teams had most of their top runners back.
Yep. And you had talked about how tough this particular meet would be with both of those teams, and also how tough your section is too as well, and some of the teams in the area. But a good performance last week by both the boys and the girls.
Yeah, I thought it was. Gabby ran almost the same time as the week before. Mm-hmm. Madison improved her time a little bit.
Yep, Madison Rabbit-Head.
Yep, and Allie Hare, who was kind of a surprise the week before.
Yep.
I was hoping it wasn't going to be a one-hit wonder.
Right.
She ran super solid again.
Excellent.
Taylor Bommersbach came back off an illness, and she too ran really well in the first race. And I was wondering how consistent she would be. And it was really fun to watch because Allie and Bommersbach, Taylor, and Gabby and 2 girls from United North Central they were all in a huge pack coming down like the last 200 meters.
There you go.
So it turned into a complete sprint, and all of them were laying it on the line.
There
And
you go, nice.
I think Taylor came through a little bit ahead. She's got sprinter speed. She's like a 200, 400 runner in track. And
Wow.
I asked the girls, I said, man, you just ran like 3 miles, and you have to race the last 100 yards. And they said, oh, but it was awesome, coach. That's like that's the best feeling when you can still run fast. You think you're dead tired, but you're still going fast.
Right, you have that kick at the end, and then it's a nice, exciting finish. So good to watch, and exciting for the girls too as well.
Right. Yep. And I got a couple other girls too that weren't far behind that pack.
Yep.
Haley and Ashlyn were right there. So my girls go pretty deep. I got 10 girls that can all compete for 5 spots.
Nice. So a good performance last week, and now coming up next week, you head to Pelican Rapids.
Yep, now we're going to Pelican Rapids, which will be September 17th. And I like the way that race looks. Last week I knew that this West Central team was going to be good.
Right.
But when I looked at how we did last year against Parker's Prairie, they beat us at the sectional race. But if you take out all the other teams, you just put us head to head, how we placed, how they placed, it came out dead even.
Okay, so you're looking for a good performance there, a good competitive meet too as well.
They have one runner that's probably just a notch above anybody else, but then the next best runner in the race could be Aiden for us. It could be another kid from Parker's Prairie. Pelican Rapids has one runner that's right there too, so I think the top 4 places could be wide open.
Excellent. Both boys and girls looking at being competitive?
Both boys and girls. I mean, we could win it, or we could place 3rd. It's going to be very, very competitive for our kids, which I think they'll like that, knowing, hey, we're running fast and we are still like in the top 5.
All right, good. So it sounds like I said, a good week and a good week coming up. Anything else you'd like to add about the cross country team?
No, the team is plugging along, and it's hard to believe we're already in mid-September.
Right, your season's flying by pretty fast.
It is, right.
So how many meets do you have left on the schedule?
We go to Pelican, then we got Pequot Lakes, and after Pequot Lakes we have a home meet on October 1st, and then it's our conference race.
Oh wow, so yeah, it's flying right along.
It is, and our conference race is October 9th, and I still haven't heard any word yet on how they're going to do postseason cross country.
Sure, because right now you're limited to just triangular, so just 3 teams at a meet. So for the sectionals, what's normally at a sectional meet? Is there a certain number? Or?
We have 24 teams in our section.
Oh wow.
So I would hope they could maybe put together some subsections.
Sure.
And try then to advance the team from that on to the next race.
Right.
But I haven't heard a word. I sent an email to the Minnesota High School League, and they didn't reply back. And kind of keep my ears open. I asked other coaches. I figured those coaches last week would know something because their teams are going to be vying for state qualifying spots as teams.
Right.
I got some individuals I think that could make it this year.
Sure.
Rachel and Aiden, and you never know. I'm going to run a couple 7th graders on varsity coming up here.
Okay, good.
They got some talent.
Get those young kids in there and see what they can do.
So no, right now we just want to take it one race at a time. I think this next one will be a good race, and then we'll head out to Pequot Lakes, and that'll be a challenge, but we'll enjoy this week.
Okay, sounds good. Well, we wish you good luck next week at Pelican Rapids, and we hope to talk to you again here in the future.
All right, thanks, Coach Watson.
All right, that's Coach Larry Lash with the Breckenridge Wahpeton cross country team. We thank him for joining us, and we'll be back with our next interview right after this.
The Wahpeton All Sports Booster Club would like to thank those individuals, families, and businesses who sponsored Husky sports over the years. 2020 has been a challenging year for us all, but we hope you'll continue supporting Husky athletics through the Wahpeton All Sports Booster Club. To learn more about what we do for the Huskies, please visit www.wapetonboosterclub.com or go to our Facebook page. Thanks from the Wahpeton All Sports Booster Club.
Thrivent Financial wishes the Wahpeton Husky Fall sports teams and coaches the best of success. Thrivent is proud to have the opportunity to support this community and help those who live and work here make the most of their time, talents, and treasures. Call Will Ulick, your local Thrivent financial professional. If you're interested in putting plans that align with your values into action, please call Will Ulick at 701-642-1108. Thrivent Financial.
Welcome back to the Coaches Show. I'm here with Coach Jeff Ralph, head coach of the girls golf team. Coach Ralph, welcome to the Coaches Show.
Thanks for having me back, Brian.
So you had meet last week. You were at Village Green. How did things go there?
I didn't think we really scored very well. Mm-hmm. We ended up 5th again. No individuals in the top 10. but I think just maybe just a kind of an average round for all of us. And you know, maybe a little encouraging is that we didn't play great, but we still ended up in the top 5. And you know, I thought I told the girls when we got home, there was a couple weird things that happened on the course with some rulings and things where, you know, a couple odd things that we wouldn't probably let go at the regional tournament, but the coaches that were in that made those decisions. But that, and then we talked about how I thought our girls just ground everything out. We're just grinding, trying to get it, you know, make a good score, and it wasn't easy. The greens were as fast a greens we've ever played on.
Really?
And we really struggled with that. And you know, I think we adjusted as the round went, but I think it was kind of in our heads for a while.
Do you see that often where you play a course where the greens are that fast?
Not typically, no.
No.
You know, I mean, these are public golf courses. They don't want people putting off the green, and they want people to move through their round. And I think they maybe traditionally have a little faster greens, but I don't know if they had a league thing or a club thing or whatever, but they were lightning fast, and we had to really adjust to that.
So difficult top to bottom for you. You didn't have a girl who broke 90. Kind of surprised to see that, or no?
Yeah, I really was. You know, we'd like to believe Annika will be in the mid 80s all the time, and she really, you know, was one of those who could have maybe after 5 holes just cashed them in and slapped around double bogeys all the way around. And you know, I think she ended with about you know, out of the last 6-7 holes probably had 4 pars. So she really kind of pulled it back in after just a brutal start. And the same with Maddie, just a brutal start to her round, and then you know, I see her after a couple 3 holes and say, well, I didn't start good, but I just parred this hole, and now I think I'm okay. And so, you know, that's really good to see. They're our leaders, and they need to do that. But you know, I think maybe the younger ones, you know, McKenna and Lily and Scout and Hallie, I think they just figured that's how it was. But it was brutal. I watched Scout. You know, her first hole made really a great chip into the hole. I hit it about 4 or 5 feet by, and then putted it and had a comeback of about 12 feet where it was downhill, and she missed the hole, and it just kept going. And that's really how they were that day. So,
do you think a meet like that, a difficult greens, you think that's going to help them down the road when it comes to, you know, maybe trying to qualify for state, or you know, you need that 6-footer, you need to make that in order to place a little bit higher. You think a tournament like that, even though you don't score as well as you want, you think that helps them down the road?
I do. And that was really my message to them after was, you know, way to stick with it. And that was part of the deal. And I think when we go to, you know, Grand Forks Country Club in 2 weeks, it's a difficult golf course, and you have some downhill putts and some side hill putts, and I think Monday really helped to, you know, get us ready for that.
Okay, so 2 meets coming up next week. You go to
Fargo Country
Club, and where's the second meet at?
Maple River.
Maple River. So what are you expecting out of those 2 meets?
You know, Fargo Country Club, I think very similar to Grand Forks Country Club.
Yep.
Tree lined. Big greens, bunkers, and we're gonna have to play well there. And I think just a great tune-up. I like how that's coming in. We'll actually play a practice round on Sunday at Grand Forks Country Club, and then we go to Fargo Country Club Monday. So those 2 rounds will be really good for us heading into that region tournament. Fargo Country Club, you know, historically, scores are a little higher.
Okay.
You know, for girls in the 70s, she played a pretty good round.
Yep.
So, you know, I think for us to be, you know, we'd like to see a couple girls in the 80s, and then, you know, 2 in the 90s, which is, you know, if you do that, you're going to make it. That's a thing.
Right.
So, you know, I think 2 really good tune-ups for that region tournament, you know, and we haven't made it yet, but I just feel like we're making the progressions. You know, we're still kind of that bubble team like we talked about last time, but I really thought the way we played on Monday really, you know, gave me a little more confidence moving forward that, you know, we're going to be okay.
Okay. So things going along well. You're, like you said, you're on that bubble, but it sounds like you really you really do have a chance to kind of move up and put yourself in a good position.
You know, we're in fourth now after last week, and then after Monday, so we moved up one spot.
Yeah, there you go.
I think the girls are confident. Just seeing them in practice today, you know, we did a lot of short game work around number 9, and I'm sure some numbers will be complaining about all the ball marks on 9. I fixed a bunch of them, but I really think that, you know, that's the kind of stuff that's going to pay off for us moving forward. And I really saw a good focus tonight, and that was something I was looking for last week after, you know, just a great round by our girls. And Thursday when we went to practice after King's Walk, I mean, they were super focused. Now Friday, I mean, throw that out. We had no focus Friday. But Thursday, I was really pleased with that, and you know, that happens on Friday. There's a football game and whatever, and they know they're going to get done early. But I was really pleased tonight with how we really focused on what we had to do.
All right, good. So we wish you luck the rest of the season. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, we're just looking forward to getting to that regional tournament. We still got a little work to do, but looking forward to getting there.
So 2 meets left for you, and then you got the regional tournament.
Yep.
All right, excellent. That's Coach Ralph with the girls golf team. We will be right back after these brief messages.
Scott's Electric in Wahpeton is a proud supporter of high school athletics. If you're in need of commercial, industrial, agricultural, or residential electric service, call Scott's Electric at 642-9244. Licensed and bonded in North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota, offering 24-hour electrical service. Check out Scott's Electric website at www.scottselectric.net. Scott's Electric. Sports injuries can put a damper on a young athlete's high school career. Orthopedic and sports physical therapy is here to make sure you get back to playing the sport you love. Whether it's a knee, shoulder, ankle, or back pain, our OSPTI experts will use their knowledge to rehab and strengthen that injured area for a full and complete recovery. Stay in the game with OSPTI. All major insurances are accepted. Call us at 218-641-7725, or you can find us on Facebook at OSPTI, or check us out on the web at www.ospti.net.
Here, every town is a sports town, and why not? Sports were important to us growing up, and we want the same for our kids. To get involved, because that's how kids learn to lead, and why Farmers Union Insurance supports these programs. Farmers Union Insurance. They don't just protect our community, they invest in it.
Welcome back to Three Borders Sports Network and the Coaches Show. I'm joined now by Ann Retzloff, head coach of the Breckenridge Wahpeton swimming team, girls swimming team. Ann, welcome to the Coaches Show.
Thanks for having me.
So you were at West Fargo last week for your meet. How did things go there?
They went really well. It was a high five meet because there were 5 teams that were at the meet. It was North, South, Shanley, West Fargo, and us. Okay. So they had it's interesting with the protocol. Each kid, like I said, got 1 ticket to have someone come and watch. Right. Spectators were on one side of the pool. On the other side, they had all 4 teams upstairs in the balcony. We were the only team that was on deck so that they could do the social distancing. They were marshaling kids down for the heats. They lined them up a couple of heats out. One heat was upstairs, and there was a heat down at the base of the steps, and then the other one was behind the blocks. My kids were able to just go over and get behind the blocks with their particular heat because we were on deck.
So a lot different than a normal meet. Do you think that has an effect on performance at all?
Some of the kids that have gone to some of the larger, like USA swimming meets, have had some of that marshaling. At state, we actually do marshaling. We bring in the final heat, and they're all introduced before they swim. So it's kind of a good practice for some of that.
Right, right.
I thought that most of the kids my kids did very well. I was happy with how they performed. So it did not affect my kids at all.
Okay, okay. So you've had some good performances in the past, and it sounds like at this last meet here, you've had some other girls who have stepped up and had some good EDC qualifying times. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
We added, Sydney had 2 more state qualified times to bring her total events, individual events, to 5. And again, we'll try and get everything qualified before we narrow it down and see for sure what she will swim at state. Okay. I know breaststroke will be one of them, but then we can pick and choose and see how she's ranked in the other events to see where our best options would be. Kenna Remley picked up 2 more EDC qualified times in her 2 events. Okay. Haley Motorola added the 100 free. And when I got home, I went through the official results, and it was different than what came up on the scoreboard, and Ellie Hendrickson also picked up the 50 free.
Wow.
So that was really nice.
So a nice, good meet for you. So with all those nice qualifying times, how was your finish in that particular meet overall as a team?
Well, we have such small numbers, so it's very hard to compete when I had 8 kids in the water.
Yep.
It's very hard to compete with a team that has 25, 30 kids.
Yep.
So we were 5th out of 5,
okay.
but we scored several points. Sydney picked up some wins. We individually placed well, but you just can't compete with the numbers.
I think you have to be happy with the small numbers that you have and the way that your girls swim and the times that they turn in. I don't think you can look at place and say, well, we didn't do very well. I think you have to just look at the group that you have and look at the way that they finish and the way that they compete. And from the times that they're turning in, you have to be happy with their performance.
That's exactly it. And we've done that because we are such a small team. We've done that for years, where we look at the improvement of the girls, we look at the times that they've done. I don't even pay a whole lot of attention to if they've won the event or not. I'm more concerned about the particular time. The only time that we've placed very high with a small group of girls was probably back at within the first couple of years. We had 5 girls that went to state, and we placed in, I think it was 5th place overall in state at that time.
Wow, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah,
okay.
But that doesn't happen very often.
Sure.
Where you've got that small caliber and they all placed in both their events in the top 8. That type of thing. It's hard to do.
Okay. So Sydney Roberts qualified a couple more times for state. Is there a maximum number of events that she can swim at state?
Every meet is the same. They can swim 2 individual events and 2 relays.
Okay.
So let me rephrase that. They can swim 2 individual events up to 4 total events. So if you wanted to put them in all 3 relays and just 1 individual event, like if you had a diver that could swim well on the relay, you could do that.
Okay.
But she'll only get the 2, and then of course the 2 on the relay.
Okay.
So that's how come we want to go through and see where our best options are.
Okay. Now, swimming a little bit different than some of the other sports. You have girls who have qualified for EDC with EDC times, but in order to move on to state, they still have to swim a state qualifying time. It's not like they go to regionals and then they win the regional and then they get to move on to state.
That's exactly correct. State times are a different time standard. Our EDC qualifying times are based off of the state time, so it's 115% of the state time. The only way that you get to go to state is to achieve the qualifying time in that particular event.
So it truly is, you have to get better yourself in order to get that. It's not like, okay, I'm gonna swim well, I'm gonna qualify for EDC, and then I'm just gonna beat everybody else. You have to swim that time in order to get there.
Exactly. And at EDC, you do have a lot of kids that are just kind of on that bubble, and because of the excitement of the meet and everything, they are able to get over and then make that qualifying time for state. That's where with taper, you have to be a little bit careful with, like Sydney will not taper as much for EDC as the other girls because her end game is going to be the state meet, so we have to have something that we can taper her from that following week.
Okay. So what do you have coming up next week?
Saturday, again, we go to West Fargo for the actually it'll be for the Cheyenne invite. There are two separate meets this weekend at West Fargo. We are in the morning meet with Cheyenne. Then they will, when we're done, they will disinfect the pool, and the other group comes in at, I believe, like 1:30 in the afternoon.
Okay.
And it's different teams. They'll have their own meet at that time. Then next week, Tuesday, we go to Grand Forks for our, is it a double duel? There's actually 3 teams there because Grand Forks has Central and Red River they wear different caps, but they look like one team. They score as 2 separate teams. And then, of course, Shanley and Wahpeton always travel together. So we kind of piggyback off of one another because we're such a small team.
Okay. So you always travel at the same meet as Shanley, is that correct?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Some of the invites we may not go to depending on homecoming or something like that.
Sure.
But otherwise, we, like all the duels, we go at the same time because it's very hard, and it would be disheartening for our girls to go and swim against a Jamestown that's got a full squad and have so few points. So at least if we can intersperse it a little bit more, it helps.
Okay, great. So it sounds like a good week that's passed, and you got some exciting things coming up. You've got a bunch of girls who've qualified for EDC. Anything else you'd like to add?
Not at this time. Just that if we can stay healthy, that's the scary thing at this point.
Any sport, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just talking with the pandemic,
Sure.
and if the numbers are going up in the state and that type of thing.
Right.
I know that Fargo, that's one thing with West Fargo hosting the meet. They have to watch the numbers to see if you can even have spectators, that type of thing. That's what makes it hard, is moms and dads can't come and watch the girls.
Right.
They can watch them being streamed, but that's a total different ball game than
Right.
actually being there in person.
Right. Well, we hope that things continue to go well for you. We hope that meets continue to happen and other sports continue to happen in the state, and we wish you the best of luck next week.
Thank you.
That's Ann Resloff, head coach of the Breckenridge Wahpeton swim team, and we'll be right back with our next interview right after this.
Expert service for season-long performance. RDO does that in Breckenridge. With fall fast approaching, you need to prepare your lawn equipment for leaf and snow removal. At RDO, we'll perform all regularly scheduled maintenance and switch out attachments, so your John Deere and other brands will run at peak performance all season long. We'll even pick up and deliver your equipment. Talk about easy. Call 218-643-2601 to schedule your service at RDO in Breckenridge.
IFC, we work closely with our producers to utilize superior cropping and processing systems that yield products and ingredients of the highest quality and integrity. At Richland IFC, we are dedicated to working with growers through relationships based on longevity and mutual benefits for all parties involved. Richland IFC and its growers utilize superior cropping and processing systems that yield products and ingredients of the highest quality and integrity for our food manufacturers. Richland IFC proudly supports Husky sports.
Welcome everyone to Three Borders Sports Network. I'm Brian Watson, and we are here with Coach Chris Kappas, coach of the North Dakota State College of Science baseball team. Baseball has been absent at Science School for about 50 years. Coach Kappas, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me there, Brian.
So first season of baseball in a long time. Tell me a little bit about what's going on, how things are getting started, and how things are going.
Well, it was last fall when Science School made the announcement that they were going to bring baseball back, and I was fortunate enough to be named coach. I believe it was the end of October last year, and so it was hit the ground running. From the get-go. You're starting from ground zero. So it was getting on the horn right away and trying to get guys here and put a roster together and then order equipment and uniforms and all that good stuff, and interest on campus. From last year's freshmen to see if we had anybody there that were baseball players. And we did a few things indoors, and then COVID hit. The thing that's affected everyone and continues to affect everyone, to this day. But which makes it really unique. Starting a new program, it's nothing that's certainly very easy to begin with. Then you throw a big curveball in, to use a baseball term, and we have no high school baseball this year. Limited summer baseball. There's some programs that had no summer baseball, so it made it real unique to get out and scout guys like you would in a normal year, and definitely makes it a little bit tougher. But we're going to use that kind of as something that's going to kind of motivate and push and to get us going a little bit. And we have 30 guys right now that are out for the fall season. I have 2 guys that'll return second semester. They're in the guards right now, and a couple of good baseball players will be coming here second semester. So if everyone sticks with it, we're at 32 guys. We'll be able to roster 28, so if we get to that point and we have that, we'll have to make a couple cuts. But, right now it's a good group. Chemistry-wise, it's really fun to be around these guys. They're enjoying it. They're putting in the work. We got going on the 5th of September, and we've had some long practices, and we got a long ways to go.
Right.
And it'll be really fun to see where we're at today and where we'll be at this spring, when things get real serious.
Right. Certainly good to have basketball or baseball back on campus. a chance for some local kids to get to move to the next level and play some college baseball. So what do you got for local talent?
It's kind of funny. Science school is it's a spectacular college. The education that students receive, and it's kind of it's you look at that when you're growing up, and everyone always wants to spread their wings a little bit and get out of town and try something new. But then you look back on it years later and you think, you know what, man, we have this in our backyard, and I could have went here, and I could have saved a little bit of money. And
right.
Great institution that's very reasonable financially, and we got a lot of local kids to stick around here. And I believe I have 8 kids out of Wahpeton right now, and 5 from Breckenridge. So
excellent.
So 13 local kids here that are some of them have signed. They will be out. They'll make the team. We got a few more that are fighting for a couple of those roster spots.
Good. Nice. It's going to be nice to see some local kids over on campus playing at that next level. What's your scheduling look like? A new program. What do you have to do in order to get games scheduled? Do you have some games scheduled in the fall? What's your season going to look like?
Yep. So we scheduled 5 doubleheaders in the fall here, scrimmage games. First one was, as a matter of fact, supposed to happen this past Saturday. And we're going to go down to the University of Jamestown, and they have COVID going through their campus right now. So we decided to play it safe, and we called that one off. This coming Saturday, though, we'll play Minnesota Swing Kings. I believe it's some M State guys from Fergus Falls is who it is, and we'll be playing them. We have them coming again a few weeks later. And then we're going to play Dakota Select a couple times, home and away. And that's a bunch of seniors in high school from Fargo, West Fargo, kind of the surrounding area that they want to get looked at, by colleges. So
right.
It's a great, kills two birds with one stone for me. We get our guys some scrimmage games in, some innings against other guys, and then gives me an opportunity to scout a little bit. So they should be fun. Matter of fact, we play them at home on the 26th, which is homecoming.
Okay.
And with no football this year at Science, homecoming is going to kind of revolve around baseball in our inaugural season. It's going to be kind of a fun event.
That'll be a cool event. So homecoming baseball. So where do you see yourselves as far as the competition goes? A new program, think it'll be difficult for you to compete? Where do you see yourself fitting in?
Well, I think anytime you start a program up, kind of the expectations are you're gonna take your lumps to get going. And I told all the guys we talked to from day one is that my expectations are that we're going to come in, we're going to compete right away. And I don't know if competing means we go 3-30 and lose a lot of games by 1 or 2 runs, or if compete means we finish 3rd in the conference and we finish 17-13. Either way you look at it, I'd say they're competitive either way. If you're losing a bunch of games by 1 or 2 runs, you're competitive. But when it comes to win losses, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball to look into, but our goal is to be competitive. We're going to go out there and we're going to lay it on the line, and we're going to give our team our best shot. We're going to try to stay away from beating ourselves. And if we can throw strikes and make the routine plays, I think we're going to give ourselves a chance to be in a lot of games.
Well, it sounds like you've got things kind of lined up and where you want to be. We should also mention that your home games are going to be down at John Randall with some of the renovations that have happened down there. So a nice place for you to play, a place that you're familiar with. Those hometown kids are also familiar with playing at that ballpark.
Yep. Hey, John Randall Field is a spectacular stadium. We're very proud of that field here in Wahpeton, and for Science School, for us to be able to play our games there, our home games there, it's great. A lot of the guys right now at practice, they enjoy playing on the field, and with the renovations going on, we're getting real close. We're probably at I'd say 90% or more of that whole project being completed, and it's just putting the finishing touches on, and it's just going to put the whole field just over the top. So great field, place to be proud of for sure.
Awesome, great. Well, great, Coach Kappas. Anything else you'd like to add before we finish up here?
No, I just having baseball, like you mentioned, back at Science School since I believe it was 1963 was the last year.
Wow.
So 50 plus years, it's been, and I know there's some excitement in the community, and with having some local kids obviously part of the team, and hopefully we can continue to have strong baseball teams here in Breckenridge, Wahpeton, and obviously surrounding areas. And if we can draw players in, that are fairly close, it really gives an opportunity for family and friends to come and watch them. And the more we can get the support and have fans come down there, the better it's going to be for us.
Well, we're looking forward to an exciting season, your first season. We're looking forward to talking to you from time to time here on the Coaches Show too as well. We thank you for joining us today.
All right, I appreciate you having me.
All right, that's going to do it for today's show. We want to thank Coach Chris Kappas for stopping by to let us know about the new baseball team at Science School, and we'll see you down the road on the Coaches Show. Thanks for joining us here on Three Border Sports Network.